seen the university's statement that speaks about the suspension of the academic program indefinitely. There's also been a threat made about the closing down of the university. And number 3 has also been about residents, students being moved out. Now, very, very first thing, no student will be moved off this university. We won't allow it. Number 2, the fact of the matter is that Vice Chancellor Habib and the council of this university are not dealing with the issue. By saying that you're going to close the university down indefinitely, for us is in fact evidence of bad faith. We are here, the university has a role to play as an ally of the student movement in placing pressure on government and on the various stakeholders to help us realize free and quality education. Wits is merely a vessel, and we won't be intimidated by threats. If it means we must run the university, we will ensure students have food, we have toiletries, we have academic material. We will continue to run this university if needs be. But let us not make the mistake of thinking that vice chancellors are going to get away with this. They too need to come to the party, and they too need to make their stance very clear. What are they saying about free and quality education? They said it to us that they support it. Now's an opportunity for them to show it.
Sure. I think just to comment on what happened today, what is the most important principle is that the Fees Must Fall movement is transcending the borders of the higher education space, the university. We are in the process of lobbying society to come to the party, and hence the move earlier on in the week to go to colleges, to say that colleges come to the party. You are also affected by the issue of expensive and commodification of education. But also saying to the unions, assist us by mobilizing your workers behind the cause, because these are the very same people who don't afford to pay for their children in the first place. So the children that are protesting are the children of the working class. And as representatives of those constituencies, we're saying that make the call. After going to COSATU, as you could see, Vavi came here in representation of a lot of various unions. So we're getting the support. But basically what is more important here is that we must be able to transcend the pressure and locate the problem, right? The problem is not in the universities. Clearly, that is apparent and evident. The problem is also not with capital, because what is important is that people are going to say, no, but capital is here, but the resources are here and here and here. If there is no political will from the government, capital can only support in principle. Nothing is going to bind them, right? In the same way, they were able to announce, for instance, that 5 billion is released to assist SAA, for instance. We want them to be able to come to a position to say they're going to announce free education, and not in our lifetime, because a lifetime I can die at 60 and free education will not be there. We want it now. In the immediate, we are emphasizing the immediacy of our demands, and I think we can move in that fashion.
Yeah, just to add on another significant thing that we achieved today is that since yesterday actually we were able to separate the violent ones from the non-violent ones, because there's this notion that this protest is tending to be violent. But we've made it clear to society today that in fact students are not violent. We cannot fight the police because we understand that they themselves are the working class that we are pushing the struggles for. They themselves are the ones who cannot afford to bring their children here, and we're not fighting them. But the state is the one that mandates them to fight us. It's like the state, it's always saying, harass them so that they can react, so that we can be able to legitimize their call. But we are saying we'll continue with that same discipline, we'll continue with that peaceful protest to call for free education. And we just want to call to the police themselves to say you are pointing your guns at the wrong people. They must put their guns down, they must join us. If they want to point their guns, they must point them at the right direction. We are not the enemy. In fact, we want to join forces with them. Hence we went to the trade unions, because we understand even they themselves are represented by those trade unions. So we want to join forces with them. We're saying put your arms down, come and join us. And if they are really genuinely supporting our struggle, what they will do is they will start by defying the orders that say harass students. And we are calling to also to society to come to the call everywhere else and say, cops, please stop harassing our children. In fact, we are also assisting you. Thank you.
we can definitely confirm with certainty that we will further be closing down the university for another week next week, starting from Monday on. We will spend the rest of the weekend coming up with plans of action for that week. We cannot divulge what our plans are as we are in the midst of a revolution, and we can't exactly give out our strategy and tactics, but we are saying to the public that we are also calling on their support. If they're not able to come and support us physically, we are calling also for donations of food and toiletries and anything else that they can provide for this movement as students, because a lot of students do stay in Solomon House and occupy throughout the night. So we need to be able to not only march with our constituencies, but we should be able to sustain the constituency. And revolutionary talk is not enough. We also need to deal with the politics of the stomach, and that is what we're asking and we're pleading with the public to assist us with as we move forward with this movement, as we go into another week with Fees Must Fall. We're also saying to our other institutions of higher learning around the country that they must not be tired, they must not deter, regardless of what threats their management throws at them. They must not retreat. We are going to move forward together, and we're going to be unified with one call for free decolonized education now. Thank you very much.
Sure. So I think in conclusion, we need to re-emphasize that the clarion call is what you are making, not only to the trade unions, to the various political formations that declare that in principle we support free education, to the taxi associations, they must come and support us, to all religious movements, the Association of Churches in South Africa, we are making that call to say that come to the part, right? Let us put the NM in a position to say it's a contestation of two extremes. Free education, is it a dololo or is it a wololo? And the students can move in that fashion. But we are undeterred, we are more than ever determined. And this weekend is going to be utilized to strengthen the links with UCT, with UP, with UFS, with TUT, with VUT, with Stellenbosch, with Rhodes, all those institutions. We're trying to now strengthen and consolidate ourselves. If this movement is to be sustainable, we need to move at one pace and at one voice across the whole country. Thank you
The
very
same
much.
way that they announced the passing of former President Nelson Mandela is the same way they will announce free education has come now. Thank you.
Amanda!
All right.